Hello everyone, this is right? This is E Phoenix and this is some Skyrim. This is an Elder Scrolls game, the one that comes after Oblivion, obviously. The makers of the game were the Bethesda Game Company, the same people that made the Fallout 3 and were the producers of Fallout New Vegas. And this game is freaking amazing. Alright guys, so Skyrim, if you don't know already, is an open world RPG set in kind of medieval times, with like magic and swordplay and dragons and trolls and monsters and orcs and a whole bunch of shit. Anyway, it's very deep. It's very thorough game. So let me first say this. One of the cool things about the game, as far as and it's really with any RPG, but especially this one, is how this game does a great job of letting you decide who you want to be, how you play, and how you get things done. There are characters and races that are good at sneaking. There are characters and races that are good at swordplay. There are characters and races that are good at magic. There's characters and races that combine these things in useful ways. And you can play as a battle mage, or a mage, or a healer mage, or a conjuration mage, or a one-handed weapon expert, two-handed weapons expert, a battle mage, which is sword and flames type of thing. There's just an insane amount of depth to it, and so you really feel like you are the character. You really feel like you're role playing as who you are in this environment, which is pretty awesome. And I think that's what a very good RPG is meant to do, and that's what this game does. So that's pretty amazing. There's an intense amount of customization that you're allowed to do within this game, between what races you're picked, what looks you're picked. Once you even pick a race, you can diverge off into a different angle, and do things completely different. Each races have different bonuses and all this other stuff, which is it's pretty fantastic. And so yeah, there's that. Also, this game is just deep in general. This game literally has hundreds of hours of gameplay. It has endless or near endless side quests. It has a longer standard just plot. It's got hundreds of types of weapons. A lot of you can do smithing, and you can do alchemy, and you do all this alterations and all this enchanting weapons and all this different stuff that you can do within the game that provides so much interesting aspects to the game. You can buy houses, you can decorate your houses, you can collect bounties, you can steal from people, you can become part of the Thieves Guild or the Assassins Guild called the Dark Brotherhood. The depth of this game is truly astounding, and it's kind of like Fallout New Vegas or Fallout 3, where there's just, you could play 3 times, 3 separate campaigns, beat the game completely, turn around and find 24 new quests that you didn't even know were there the 4th time you're playing it around. That's how big the game is. And I think I'm thinking about starting a second character and really be playing through 2 characters at once. Thinking about doing a little bit of, I don't stream stuff, so I'm thinking about doing a little bit of live commentary stuff. See if you guys like that. Anyway, so let's see. What else to say? The graphics. The graphics are absolutely fantastic. They're beautiful. I have this game on Xbox 360, and the graphics are fantastic. And I'm sure you can see as I'm walking around here. The horizon's beautiful. The scale of the map is intense. It's massive, and there's things that are very detailed. They talked a lot about micro and macro details. So when you look at things at a distance, there's details in it, and it doesn't it doesn't look like a cardboard picture pasted on a ceiling. It doesn't look fake. It looks realistic and detailed from a macro sense, and then a micro sense of the small little details on a pot in a kitchen, or that rock next to me type of thing, or the log that's covering across the road. So it's pretty badass on that. But the graphics are fantastic. I'm sure they're great on PC. I think it's a DirectX game, so I doubt the PC graphics are really any better than the 360. It might be. I would be surprised if it wasn't, actually, but it's not better to the point where it really makes that much difference. It's not the difference between Battlefield 3 and on PC and console, which is completely different. Like Battlefield 3 looks amazing on PC. On console, it looks average. I mean, it looks like Modern Warfare 3. There's nothing really special about it, to be honest. Um, anyway, you know, graphically, it's amazing. I'd say really the only real plus for PC gaming on it, since the graphics aren't going to be that much better, would really be the modding, which is pretty big with RPGs. I don't really like to use mods all that much. I like to play the nature of the game as it was meant to be played. So, I mean, 360 works for me. But anyway, off that subject. Let's see, the combat on the game. The combat is very well done. You know, I think to expect it to be Call of Duty combat, it's ridiculous. Call of Duty, the gameplay is the combat system. You know, RPG is not necessarily centered around that. So, you know, it's not the best combat in the history of the world, but at the same time, it doesn't detract from the game at all. It's very solid. It doesn't take away from the game. It's not really a frustrating thing at all as far as the combat overall. Let me mention this. For those that have played Oblivion, Skyrim made two very crucial things that they did a lot better. One, they streamlined the game. What I mean is, for playing Oblivion, like a friend of mine, I didn't like Oblivion very much, and I didn't play it that long before I traded it in. But a friend of mine told me about, you know, he actually had a full-length notebook where he literally played and would mark, okay, I put my conjuration up 1. I put my health up 1. So he could keep track of all his stats and things because it was that complex with the leveling up process and things like that. And you could screw yourself over and really ends up ruining your gameplay and not being able to play the later levels because it got too difficult if you didn't set it up right and things of that nature. You know, they took away that. They streamlined it. They made it more simple. They made it more friendly to those that maybe aren't, you know, veteran RPG players that like that insane intense game. You know, one of the problems with Oblivion is that it was so complex that it kind of took away from the fun of the game to be tedious. Skyrim stripped a lot of that away, whether it was like smithing and things like that, or whether it was, you know, just the complexity of the leveling up system. So that they did a very, very good job on that. Also, they one of the big things they changed, instead of, well, let me put it this way, in Oblivion, when you were level 1, you fought level 1 creatures. When you were level 30, you fought level 30 creatures. That's not the way Skyrim works. Skyrim, if you're level 1, you play level 1 creatures. But when you're level 30, you can still come across those creatures that you saw when you're level 1, like wolves and, you know, easy bandits and things like that. But then when you're level 30, you're also coming across the tougher dragons, the trolls and things like that. So it keeps the game fresh, but it doesn't become where it's like every battle is like a massively difficult issue with the game. So I think it did a very good job with that overall. So yeah, one of the cool things about the game is, you know, I was saying that you play in many different ways as your own character, you know, a true RPG, but one of the things too is you can kind of play at your own place and at your own pace and play how you wish to play. What I mean is, you know, some people want to get the plot done. So they want to get from A to B. They want to get to the start of the plot to the end of the plot, and then they're done. And that's kind of what they want to do. You can do that. There's a lot of time you can spend getting the plot, leveling up, with the plot, you know, doing exactly that. But this is also the game where suddenly you're walking, you know, oh, I'm going to do the next plot. And then you pick up 7 side quests along the way, and 5 hours later in gameplay, you finally get to the destination you were planning to get to, and you're like, oh, yeah, I need to do this. And then you actually start doing the next thing in the plot. That's the type of game it is. There's a lot of other things you can do. There's a lot of like major side quests and minor side quests that keep the game going, that keep the game, have a lot of different things. Again, you can get in the Assassin's Guild, you can get in the Thieves Guild. I mean, there's just a lot of different things you can do. And that's pretty awesome. That's pretty fantastic. So that's cool. Of course, they have an economy system in the game, so you can buy a house, you can decorate your house. You know, there's a bunch of different, you can look different depending on how you want to look. You also, I mean, you can do a lot of other things as well, as far as like, you know, what type of weapons you want to use and things of that nature. So it's very immense as far as that goes. So that's pretty cool. So the last thing I want to mention is a couple of issues with the game. There's not many, but there are two issues that I think are pretty important. First off, this game has some issues with saving. Just to illustrate, when I went to the top of the hill to fight a dragon because it was part of a bounty, and you know, a lot of dragons, they just appear whenever they appear. It's a random event. It's not scripted, which is pretty awesome. It keeps the game fresh and exciting. But this was more of a scripted one because it was for a bounty. So I go up and I die fighting the dragon. So I respawn, I go back over, and I killed the dragon. But I used all my health potions, and I was pretty close to dying. And so I was like, well, there's a chest over here where I killed the dragon. I'm gonna go pick up the chest, and then I'm gonna fast travel back to where I want to go, so I can get the hell out of here, you know, and heal up and things like that. Sell my, you know, what I got. Well, because I didn't save the game manually, and it's an open world game, it didn't automatically save it because I didn't come out of fast travel, or I didn't, you know, walk out of a building or walk out of, you know, whatever. So it didn't auto save it. And so I died right after I killed the dragon, and so I was set literally like 30 minutes back from where I was, and I'm like, I just killed a dragon. It was a difficult fight. I died doing it the first time, and it didn't save. Well, that's just obnoxious. So I mean, that's something you need to, you know, that can be a little rough. So sometimes you have to like make sure you save after you complete a, you know, doing something of that nature. Anyway, the only other thing is the game can be kind of buggy. You know, there are bugs. Sometimes you kill a creature and it'll fall through the floor or the floor or the ground and things like that. And there's a couple of weird things like that where you see a guy kind of like ice skate, you know, across the ground. You know, it's not game breaking. It doesn't happen all that often where it's really an issue. Just, you know, I haven't died because of it or anything. It's just, you know, kind of minor, you know, things that you notice. But that's it. You know, the game, I'd probably give it a 9.75 out of 10 overall. Again, I haven't actually beat the game, so, you know, this is more of a first impressions anyway, because I haven't finished the plot and whatnot, but it's amazing overall as of right now. Last thing, I'm going to do a tips video for those guys that maybe are thinking about getting a game but haven't got it yet, or aren't RPG, you know, veterans, haven't played a lot of RPGs, and because that's kind of my style of gameplay is RPGs in a lot of ways. So I will definitely be putting out some tips videos to help you guys out. Anyway, guys, thanks a lot for watching. Let me know what you think, and if you have any questions, I will be happy to answer them. Anyway, again, thanks for watching. Peace out, guys.